All right, team, in this video, we're going to think about what positive and negative signs mean in physics. So let's get started. So in everyday life, if your bank balance is $450 on Monday and $300 on Tuesday, and the delta or difference between Monday and Tuesday is negative $150, does the negative sign indicate direction or loss? If you weigh 125 pounds in January and 140 pounds in April, the delta is 15 pounds. Does the positive sign indicate direction or gain? All right, a little trickier. You are deep sea diving and you move from 30 feet below sea level to 14 feet below sea level. So the delta is 16 feet. Does the positive sign indicate direction or gain? Okay, technically we will say, oh, I gained altitude or I lost altitude. But you're not really gaining or losing any quantity if you think about it. There's not a physical difference in pressure, except, conditionally. There's not a difference between being 30 feet below sea level and 14 feet below sea level in terms of having more or less of something. Even though, again, we will say you gain altitude, what that means is you're 16 feet in a different location. You have changed your relative position, so it actually means direction, that you are 16 feet higher, which is a direction. You are above where you were before, but we do tend to use the word gain, but I want you to start thinking about that as direction. Okay, now we're going to move on to positive and negative velocity. So bus A is moving at 22 meters per second, and bus B is moving at minus 16 meters per second. Does the negative sign indicate direction or loss? Okay, hope you got that right. The bus going west, I'm calling that bus A. So this bus here, bus A is moving east. And bus B is moving west. So the negative sign doesn't mean this bus is not losing anything. This bus is not gaining anything. The negative sign means direction. Okay, now for the really tricky questions. Okay, so what we've done so far is we've said in terms of location, which we're going to call X, position, positive and negative sign just means direction. Okay, so that was back to the altitude. Up, location, left or right, up or down. Negative sign means I'm to the left of the origin or I'm below the origin. Okay, so for position, negative sign means direction. For velocity, negative sign means direction. Okay, so we're going to think about a log ride, and the log is going from left to right in this diagram. Is the log's velocity positive or negative? Okay, so you might have said we don't know. You have to define a positive and negative direction, right? But the standard direction is to the right is positive, just to match our number line, mathematical number line. So we would most likely say that the log's velocity is positive. Oops. So second question, is the push or pull from the water positive or negative? And again, you might have said, geez, it doesn't have a sign. It's just a push or a pull. But if you think about it, the water is pushing on the log to the left, and leftward in a diagram means negative. Okay, and then hopefully you have a good sense of directions of push or pulls. Hopefully that makes sense to you. What we don't know yet is that push or pulls is a fancy word for, is an everyday word for force. Versus cause acceleration. So we're not going to be talking about forces quite yet, but we are going to be talking about acceleration. Okay, so for right now, just think of those two things as interchangeably. The direction of the force is the same as the direction of the acceleration. Okay, so the push or pull from the water is to the left because it's slowing him down, and it is negative. Okay, so you might say, Miss Grobby, why are you making such a big deal? This doesn't seem hard. The push is negative, so the acceleration is negative. Negative acceleration means slowing down. I already knew that middle school physics. But hey, just like the water on the log ride says, not so fast. The main point of this play posit is that negative acceleration does not always mean slowing down. It is really, really important that you understand why. So we're gonna then see some cool videos and go through some more logic. So keep watching.